This is a really short tutorial. I just want to go over a couple of things that we haven't covered yet that'll really help your creative workflow. So one of those things I want to talk about is pivot points. I'm just going to create an object here. A sphere will do. Okay, cube. Let's go cube. So right now, if I hit W, I'm moving that object from the manipulator, which is in the center of the object. That's its pivot point. Now I can change its pivot point. So right now if I rotate it, I'm rotating on its own axis. If I hit the home or the insert key, I get this different manipulator, and this is a pivot point editor manipulator. So if I move that over there and then hit the insert key again to come out, I've moved the pivot point of the object. Now if I rotate it, I'm rotating it around that axis. Now, if you ever accidentally send your pivot point out to the boondocks, you can always get your pivot point back to center by selecting the object and going modify, center pivot. I'm just going to make a shortcut for that. So I'm going to hold Control Shift or Command Shift, go modify, center pivot. Now I can just click that once and center its pivot. So I'm just going to move this pivot point again up there. Now I've got to hit insert to get back out. And now my pivot point's there, and back to the center. So that's the first thing I want to cover. The second thing I wanted to cover is groups and parents. Now to understand this, it's probably better that you open the outliner as well. So go Window, Outliner. I'm going to create another shortcut for that. There's the outliner. The outliner is just a simple list of all your objects, lights, cameras in Maya. It also displays a hierarchy. So I'm just going to do some parenting here. So I'm going to make the cube the child of the sphere. So select the child first, shift select the parent, and hit the P shortcut. You can also go Edit, Parent. So now, if I move the cube, it's independent, but the sphere is the parent, so it moves the cube too. Now you'll notice over here in the outliner, I've actually got a hierarchy I can expand. So the cube is the child of the parent. I'm just going to create one more object to make it a cylinder. And I'm going to child the cylinder to the cube. So just hit P again. So now the cylinder can move on its own, but the cube moves the cylinder. The cube moves on its own with its cylinder as a child, and the sphere moves everything. So that's parenting. I'm just going to undo that. Parent, so select the child and go Edit, Unparent, and this one, Edit, Unparent, or Shift P. So I'm just going to make sure these are no longer joined. Nope, see in the outliner they're all in a list now. The next thing is grouping. So you can actually group objects together. So the shortcut is Control G for group, or Edit, Group. So now I've created a group. All the objects are under the group. The group is not an object, it is just a group, but it does have a transform node. So I can select the group in the outliner and move the whole group. Or I can select one of the objects and hit the up key on your keyboard, and it'll move up through the group, up through the hierarchy. And it's the same with parenting. So if I parent the cylinder to the sphere and hit P, if I select the cylinder and hit the up key, I'll move up to its parent, and then hit it up key again, and I'm moving up to the group node. And now that I've got independent transform node, which is the group, I can title the group GRP for group. And I can also hit insert and edit the pivot point of the group transform node.